Hello, year 8. We've got another video for you today. Hope you guys are doing well. Boom, boom. We're going to go straight into it. Today, we are going to continue with finding all the things that we were finding last time, like median, mode, mean, range. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at a slightly different way your information is presented. Before you had numbers like 5, 6, 7, 7, 2, 4, 5, 6, and all these bunch of numbers. But we're going to talk about frequency distribution tables. So please write just these couple notes down and these couple examples down as well. So a frequency distribution table is just a way to represent larger amounts of data, right? If there was, let's say, for example, if I was collecting data on 50 different things, then it wouldn't make sense to write out 50 different scores. It would be nicer if maybe I could put it in a table, which is exactly what we're going to do. So if you guys follow with me, how does it look and how does it work? Let's take a look at this example here. So let's say there are a number of goals scored in soccer games over the season, and it's represented in this table. Now, on the first column, you're going to have the score, right? So your first column, you have this kind of score area, and that tells you, okay, in these games that were played over the season, there was either zero goals scored, there was 1 goal, 2 goal, or 3 goals scored in each game. Right now, you also have your other column, and that represents your frequency. Right now, normally you wouldn't do this, but I'm just going to do this so you can see what this table means. Now, my score here is 0, and my frequency, that means how many times it happened, is 3. So that means if I was to write these scores out, it would go 0 3 times, 0, 0, 0. And then we scored 1 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we scored 2 3 times, 1, 2, 3. And then we're looking at 3. How many times did we score 3 goals? Well, we only scored that once. Okay, so that is how this table works. Now, instead of writing all these, I didn't pick too many, but instead of writing all these things out, sometimes people prefer to put it into a table like this. Okay, so just please take your time. It looks like I've got a chew coming up. But please take your time to get this done or to understand this so that when we do questions on it, what they'll do is they'll say, okay, we can now find the mean, median, mode, and range from a frequency distribution table. Okay, now this table, if you'll notice, has 2 extra columns, which we didn't have previously. I used the exact same numbers as before, same numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, 3, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, 3, 1. Same information, but now I've added 2 more columns. Now these 2 columns are going to be helpful when we want to find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Right, so if they ever ask you a question on how to use the tables, draw out your table, copy it down, just like we did. Right, so this stuff here, you're going to copy it out in your book just from the question, but often what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to fill out these other 2. All right, you're going to have to fill out those FX and that CF column. Now, what does FX stand for? It means it's just your frequency multiplied by your score. Okay, so if we go here, I'm going to write this in red. I'm talking about 0 times 3. And in this case, it's just 3. Right, and if I go, oh, whoops. Hopefully you guys caught me on that. What's 0 times 3? It's 0. All right, and then for this one here, I'm just going to go, my score is 1 and my frequency is 5. So that means I've got a FX of 5. Same here, 2, 3. That's going to give me 6. And then I'm going to have a 3 and a 1. So 3 times 1, and that's going to give me 3. Okay, now your CF means your cumulative frequency. Now this works slightly differently. And so this here, I'll write this down. It stands for cumulative frequency. So cumulative just means it adds up. So it continues to add up. So what I like to write in here is, okay, so how many scores did 0 have? Right, so there was 3 scores, so I'm just going to go 3. Now, if I go to 5, or if I go to this next one here, up until score 1, I have 5 of those. So I'm just going to add those two numbers together. I'm going to add 3 and 5, and that means I'm going to write 8 over here. 3 plus 5. Okay? And it's going to give me, whoops, it's going to give me an answer of 8. And I'm going to keep adding these up as I go. So now for this one here, I'll go 8 plus 3 this time. So hold on, maybe I should write it like this so you guys can see. So let me rewrite it. So it'll be 0 plus 3, that's 3. Okay, so far I've counted 3 scores, and then now I'm going to add another 5 scores. That's going to give me 8. All right, so now I've got 8 scores. I'm going to add another 3 now. That's going to give me 11. All right, and then now I'm going to start with 11, but then I'm going to add one more. So I'm going to add one more, and then that's just going to give me 12. Okay, now once we've got this, that there is our cumulative frequency and our FX column. Now I'll show you exactly how these help. Let's just do a quick totals here. If we add up the totals of just the FX column, we get 0 plus 5 plus 6 plus 3. That's going to give us 11. That's going to give us 14. Okay. It's going to give us 14. Now that's going to help us. All right. So now let's just take a look here. Let's do mean. So mean was, remember, the total of the scores divided by the number of scores. Now, because we've done this table, the total of the scores added together is 14, because we found out all those totals. And how many scores were there? Well, we can kind of look here. There were 12 scores in total. So it'll be 14, and then so it'll be over 12, and I can simplify this to 7 over 6. So that there would be my mean or my average. All right, go down a little bit further. Let's do now median. Now median here, I've got 12 scores, right? We found that out from before. We know that there's 12 scores. So what I do is I go 12 divided by 2, and that gives me an answer of 6. So that means I'm looking for my 6th score, and because it's an even number, I'm also looking for my 7th score. Okay. Now, hopefully you remember how median works. You're looking for the middle score. So here, because I've got an even number, I'm going to have 2. Now I look here at my cumulative frequency, and I look here, where does 6 and 7 go? 6 and 7 technically goes here, right? In between the 3 and the 8. And so technically, I can move that there, and I can see, okay, my score was 1. So here, I can very easily read that my median, my 6th score is 1, and my 7th score is also 1. So my median is just simply 1. Okay. And then those are the difficult ones from there. Mode should be fairly simple. Which one's the most common? So for the most common, I'm going to look at the frequency table, and which number in our frequency table is the biggest. Frequency table is 5. Right, we can see that 5 is the biggest, and the score is 1. So that means, what is my most common score? What is my mode? It's also 1. And the last one, range, is always the same as before. Highest score take away lowest score. So your highest score here is 3. Lowest score is 0. So that means 3 take away 0. And that gives you an answer of 3. Okay, now hopefully this answers some of your questions in how to answer if we've got a frequency distribution table. Right, add your columns, fill them in, and then you should be able to find your mean, median, mode fairly simply. Cool. All right, enjoy. See you guys later.